This is a video diary of sorts. Okay, so it's Sunday-ish when I'm recording this. And again, we're just probably just play Warframe while we, talk and whatnot. You may have noticed in the background we are listening to Bow the Whale, because she has some fucking awesome music. I love Bow the Whale. She's so fucking funny for one, and she can make some banger ass music. Like hot diggity damn, what a gal. And yeah, ah, I'm still annoyed as fuck about like the whole like Bow's misogynist fucking BS that happened. Like, I don't know, it feels like years ago now. Ugh. It's so fucking annoying, dude. But I don't really need to rehash that. It's just that, the only thing to note is that people who claim that are functionally brain dead. Mostly just consumed by incel thoughts. And have been convinced that the wrongs that have been done to them, the actual harm, the actual, like, if their feelings were hurt, it's probably because, okay, how should I describe this? Some people do have, how should I say this? Let me see. There are people who have been harmed by women, and they absolutely deserve to tell their stories and receive the support they need. However, this isn't the Torment Olympics. When somebody says, this happened to me, okay, you're not supposed to say, yeah, well, what about me? You're supposed to say, that's awful. I've had this happen to me too, as a man, or something like that. Instead of, like, sort of like screeching like an animal at random internet women. Anyway, but that's just me. Goodness gracious, I'm tired. Well, not really. I kind of slept a little bit last night, but maybe not enough. Maybe not enough. Anyway. What am I gonna do today, actually? I think I'm done with the calendar for now. Yeah, so tomorrow, or actually tonight at 6, the new year will happen, and I don't know what happens then. I don't really want to talk to anybody on the kinematic messenger thingy. I keep trying to, like, I wanted to go for Eleanor, the dating sim thing. However, I can't quite figure out how to interact with her. So I went for Aoi instead. Because she's very easy to get along with. They're just people like that who are just very soft and accepting. And, it's not particularly complicated to be important to them or to, make them feel important. You know what I mean? Some people are just soft, in a good way. In a good way. Aw, thank you, Letitia. Or should I call her Letty now, that we're on more familiar terms? Anyway. What was something else I was thinking about this morning? Oh, yeah. I guess we're going to talk about Omar again today. So, apparently she got, like, escorted away from an ICE facility for asking to enter and, examine what's going on in there, as is her duty and rights, right? So, again, let's just lay out the facts here. She approached the facility where many people have been snatched off the streets. Some have been snatched even outside the mandate device. We know this has happened a lot. They just grab random people and detain them without any sort of legal counsel, even if they're in the States, legally, if they have passports and whatnot. It's just because they're foreign, And basically just get disappeared, deprived of medication, tortured, killed. All sorts of fun stuff happens in these facilities. Well, what else? Anyway, so she got taken away. And then, some weird, like, she's like trending on Twitter right now. And so I checked it out. It's like, one of the first things I see is like, Ilan Omar linked to Somali fraud schemes. And it's like, I just don't believe it, you know? It's anytime you hear something like really fucking horrible, I think you should just like nod your head and go, yeah, I don't know about that. Because there are like agents, there are like bad actors out there who want you to constantly be like on edge, to be afraid, to hate your neighbor. And your neighbor is probably not evil. Your neighbor is probably not evil. I'm also talking to you, leftists. Your neighbor is probably not evil. Even if they aren't as rabidly, anti-fascist as you may be, they're probably just a decent person who's been fed a different ideology. More or less, if you want to understand how they think and feel the same way you do, just on the other side of the coin here. Now, obviously, there's a lot of propaganda and lies that, inform this sort of worldview, right? But, yeah. Usually people are moral actors, I think, and they feel very strongly about justice. I think that's something very common to everyone. Because I think the simple fact is that if any of these accusations were true, if anything that, like, is claimed by these, like, kind of more right-wing weirdos was true, I'd be all for, I'd be all up in their worldview, right? But it's not true, and we can, like, realize this just by reading a book or two. Not that that's particularly easy in this day and age, though I do recommend, at least on the Zionist front, to read The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine by Ilan Pappe, or Pop? Anyway, Pappe. There's nothing I can really do here, actually. I don't really need to be here. I wonder how you get the techno site, whatever's, to fight the bandmates. Maybe that's a Deep Arctic Media thing. I don't know. Let's go back to the base of operations and find something else to do. Pixel Girl. This song is so funny because it does kind of encapsulate the whole, like, VTubing industry and how it is not exploitative. I'm not going to call it exploitative because it's... There are some chuds out there who will call it exploitative, right? But they're just, like, losers who aren't as good at, like, what they do as, like, some VTubers are. Usually they're kind of like men who aren't really, like, all that talented and think that the rapid success of women is mostly due to their tits, ass, or the fact they're women, instead of, like, the hard work and humor and personality they may have. It's kind of silly if you really think about it. Rank 30 Warframe? Oh, shit. That's right, I gotta level up some. Ooh, Grineer Formorian thing is almost up. Let's see. Guess we can help out with the Grineer offensive. What is this? Abaddon invasion, defense, sabotage versus defense, or capture versus defense. Let's do... which one's which? Grineer capture versus Corpus defense. Okay, so we're gonna do the capture mission. Wait, fuck. Where was it? Oh god. Okay, Europa. There we go. So we're gonna do the capture, which should be the Grineer thing. Because the Formorian Armada is something I want to, like, fight at some point because it has some cool mods. I know, rapid tonal whiplash here from, like, talking about conspiracies and government stuff. Anyway, so again, yes, your neighbors are fed, your neighbors, your right-wing or right-leaning neighbors are fed a constant stream of propaganda that mirrors the perhaps more educated outrage that some leftists feel. And not all leftists are very well educated, let's be honest. Some of them are just self-righteous little freaks who like tormenting and bullying people on the internet, there's just being a leftist doesn't make you a good person. Just having the right politics doesn't make you a decent person. There are some perfectly likable people who have reprehensible worldviews, and are otherwise good, like, community members. They just have horrifying ideologies. Or believe completely untrue conspiracy theories. And, of course, being much more pleasant than said freaks, they tend to get a little more traction. Because I think there's this, like, belief in, like, kind of left-wing spaces that you can be as fucking vile as you want, as long as you're right. Which is stupid. It's pretty stupid. You know. I'm thinking of, like, and this is not exactly a great comparison, I'll be honest, but it's, I'm thinking of, like, MLK and, like, how he did his protests and whatnot. Essentially, he comported himself with a lot of dignity, you know. His movement was non-violent, and, of course, there was a armed component to, of course, the civil rights movement, which should not be discounted. However, I do believe that his dignity and dedication to nonviolence made his movement effective, because he was able to remain the calm, neutral party and made other people look crazy by comparison. You know, he was able to project the justice that he believed in. A really particularly inspiring story from one of his books was how he and his neighbors heard that there was going to be a clan, there were clansmen going to be raiding through the area, right? Okay. And usually they would hide in their homes whenever it's one of these crazy, you know, violent raids came through. And essentially said, acting dead, essentially they acted dead in the face of people who were going to kill them or something like that. But instead he encouraged everyone to just go about their business, to be like on their porches, living their lives. So the Klansmen rode through with their white hoods and their cars and their guns, and they saw a bunch of black people just walking around unafraid. Unafraid. And they got so unnerved by this. They got so twisted out of their, like, expectation, which their expectation, of course, was to, like, you know, go in there and murder a bunch of terrified people, right? That they just left. They just drove off and caused, you know, absolutely no harm. Because their expectations were defied so sharply. This also reminds me of another guy. He's called the Clan Whisperer. Apparently he's converted, like, I don't know, 100 plus Klansmen away from, or de-radicalized 100 plus Klansmen by speaking to them in their terms, essentially. You really do have to meet people where they're at. If you can't meet people where they're at, you're basically just throwing stones at a wall. You know. That's just my thoughts on that. That's just my thoughts on that. I'm sure there's some very, very educated people who have a lot of reasons why I'm dumb for thinking civility is an option. And, okay, let's be clear. Civility isn't always an option. Okay? It isn't always an option. There's some really reprehensible, horrifying things happening that we absolutely have to resist, you know, with all our hearts. But. However something. What was I talking about? However, your neighbor is usually not going to be a monster, and your neighbor is usually not your enemy. And this goes doubly for your family. Now, this is going to be real controversial, so bear with me. I think performative cruelty is heinous. Like, really heinous. I think that it is fucking dog shit to, like, cut off a family member over something abstract. Now, if they're doing actual, real, concrete harm and don't just have, like, a shitty opinion, that's different. You know, if you're actually, like, if you're queer and your family is a danger to you, that's absolutely a good reason for cutting them off, you know? If your uncle is just kind of an asshole, or your father, you know, has an opinion you don't like, it's not a good reason to, like, be cruel to them. You know, that's still your family. That's my thoughts on that. I think performative cruelty is wrong. And, of course, that goes the other way, too, where, you know, a parent will disown their child over having the wrong politics as well, and I've seen that happen. And it's twisted. I think it fucks people up, and I think it makes the world a worse place. Because strife and chaos is the design. Yeah, strife and chaos is the design. They want you to feel afraid and angry and hopeless and other adjectives for general awfulness. Can we get to this hell scrubber in time? Yeah. Fuck off, Letitia. I'm working on it. I'd like to see you come in here and do this shit. Besides, I kind of want to fight one of these guys because they're, Okay, let's shoot this shit off. Eat shit. There we go. Alright, we're gonna hit this one, we're gonna go to the next one. Anyway, so yeah, don't be an asshole. It is basically what I think the world needs more of. It's like, the world has too many assholes. I think we can all kind of agree to that as well, that the world has too many assholes. You probably shouldn't, like, contribute to the asshole counter. You know? It's starting to smell like shit in here. So yeah. Now, that said, I don't have a great idea about how to actually talk to somebody with a different opinion in a way that's not, you know, going to lead to a punch-out. Because people are reasonably very upset and feel very strongly about these things. How can you not when the consequences seem to be life or death? You know, especially in the case of performative cruelty, like I said, where there's always the danger of also being cut off if you have the wrong opinion, you know. And opinion is what I really mean here, opinion, you know. Because a lot of us have absolutely no particular power over these situations beyond screaming about them. And there's a difference between... you have to consider whether actual harm is being done, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we need to think in terms of actual harm. If somebody's doing actual harm, they need to be opposed. If somebody is not doing actual harm and they just have, like, a bad opinion, work around them. Be civil, kind of slowly introduce, maybe, you know, things that you're thinking about, and try not to be confrontational about it. Or maybe even, like, flat out say, like, hey, I'm not, like, not to, like, you know, get into some kind of argument, but I have these thoughts, you know. I'm gonna start the conversation out somewhere and somehow. I'm not really sure what a great, like, way to do that is, but, you know, it's a thought I've been having. It's a thought I've been having. Is my bow music still playing? It better be. I'll be very annoyed if it isn't. Hold on. We're in solo, so we can pause this. What happened to my bow music? Loading? Damn you. Alright, let's go back to this one. This one's probably already loaded. I really like this one. Smile. This is a good one. The bow emo arc is really good. I love all the, like, music and creativity that comes out of the VTuber community. That's probably why I enjoy it so much, in fact, because there aren't many communities that are as vibrant and that support, like, the arts as much. You know, fandoms do it a little bit, but they get a little, and actually all communities kind of get nuts, don't they? And never mind. Anyway, you know what I mean, right? It's very creative, it's very interesting, it's very vibrant. There are some real assholes in it, but that's everywhere, you know. Can't escape assholes. Oh, I should use my ward thing. What am I doing? I wanted to upgrade my Onos. Onus. Whoops. You got it, boss. Not sure I'm a huge fan of the Onus, actually. I only got it because I needed 3 Incarnate weapons to put my Fenmore at the top, to, like, level up my Fenmore fully, you know? So, I don't know. I do think it has some interesting effects because of Korvex's innate punch-through. He's got, like, fucking 3 punch-throughs, so these bullets can do, like, some double, triple duty, depending on where you're shooting them. Let's see, 5 more. Oh, shit. Let's go to the next one. Preemptively. But first, cancer. Everybody get cancer. Ah. Speaking of cancer, I hope Luigi Mangione gets, like, acquitted, or whatever the word is. Because his, like, trial has been so fucking, like... They got too eager to murder his ass, you know? And so they just, like, fucked up the legal process, hoping that nobody would notice. So he might just end up getting off scot-free. You know, allegedly he did this anyway, so maybe this is even the wrong guy. So hopefully, you know, things are fine. Things will be fine for him. Apparently he's also at the fucking facility that Ghislaine Maxwell is in, I think, is what I heard, in Maduro? So he's at the political prisoners, like, you know, facility, which is kind of funny. Funny in an interesting way, anyway. Let's go to the next one. 15 endo, huh? Be better, so they say, oh, don't they? There we go. Alright, we can stop using this now. We got 100 kills. God, I'm so glad I can use these Tonfas again. Because all I had was the Voltase before this, and the Voltase kind of is ass, you know? And I guess it does, like, status, but it does puncture primarily, so it just kind of makes people do less damage to you. Which is, I mean, it's okay, I guess. You know, it's a good survivability tool, I suppose. But, I'm just not very happy with it. I didn't like it. This has 20 status and critical at base, so it's a pretty good option. Kratos, Gemini Cross. You get the hell off there. You know, I know absolutely nothing about the whole, like, Somali, like, kindergarten fraud thing. I've heard, like, whisperings and ramblings online, but it all doesn't make much sense to me, so I kind of don't care, you know? It's like, okay, another awful thing happened, and where are the Epstein files? Yeah, you know, because it's kind of like that. It's like, is this a distraction from something? It kind of feels like a distraction from something. It kind of feels like, something really... It kind of feels like it's staged, you know? It kind of feels like theater. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of like what happens, like, in these situations, too. It's like, nah, that's not real. I think we all say that, regardless of what our political affiliations are, is that when we hear something that we feel is outlandish, we just, like, go, that's not real. You know, that's why so many people still dick ride Israel, you know, despite their massacring of, you know, men, women, and children. Massacring at best, let me say. They do worse stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they're experimenting on them, too. But anyway, that's a sort of, like, horrible thing people don't want to believe, because it seems so vast, you know. It seems so unlikely that this would just happen, that people would let this happen, you know. But it's a sad reality. Now, we know that for a fact, that Israel is murdering people. So people who don't believe that are kind of like, they don't really have a leg to stand on. And whereas I believe something like the Somali fraud thing is probably bullshit, but again, I haven't looked into it, so I don't know. I'll, like, hold off on my assessment of the situation. Although, seeing as they're using it to try and go after Ilan Omar for, you know, trying to check on the facility where people are probably being tortured and disappeared, probably means that it's a front for something. Probably just means it's staged, in my thoughts. Because it's only being used to slander a fairly outspoken political figure. Now, I don't really know anything about Ilan Omar besides the fact that I guess she's Muslim or something, or at least Arabic. I don't know. That's about it. And she speaks out against genocide, and probably isn't on the Epstein list. You know, I think you have to be white to be on that one. So yeah, it may as well be like a shining beacon of justice, as far as I'm concerned. But the bar is in hell, so I don't know. Most of the attacks I see on her are pretty racist too, you know. Some people will have criticisms of her and they're not particular racist criticisms, or they are not presented in a racist way, or the person says they're not racist, sort of thing. But I don't even know how valid those are either, because again, I don't know her record, and I'm not really going to believe, I'm not really going to believe right-wing pundits when they talk about this. Like, especially when they're, like, shouting it, like, you know, rah, 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 rah. And she's a part of the Somali fraud scheme. Blah, 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 blah. You know, because they don't really actually show any proof, as far as I'm concerned. You know? They just kind of put her on public trial for, you know, because they can't put her on actual trial. Because she didn't actually do anything. And they're more really concerned with protecting, you know, the people on the list than anything else. Because, this is perhaps the more depressing thing about all this, is that, this is probably the more depressing thing about all this, is, what was I talking about? I forget. My memory is shot to hell. I just don't sleep a lot some days, some weeks, some months. And it definitely does a number on, like, my memory. Thankfully, my other faculties are mostly intact, so, you know, there's that. I just sort of lose my train of thought sometimes if it gets too long. It's kind of like AI. I did goof around with some, like, chatbot to see how it worked. It was a really, like, low-end model, and basically it just kind of, like, recorded all, it like wrote down all its responses and all your responses, and sort of like, you know, just sort of like worked off those instead of like adding anything, and only occasionally added new things to it. I don't know, it kind of basically, it got to a point where, oh, whoopsie-doodle. It got to a point where it's just repeating itself on loop, like it forgot where it was going with it, what it was doing, which is probably not far off, actually. Did you die already? Okay, there we go. Those babos are so fucking tough, dude. And then again, I'm not really using my A-game tools. I'm using these Incarnon weapons, which are... Incarnon weapons are okay. They're okay. I saw a video, it's like, turn this into a machine gun that kills Archons in one shot. And I'm like, holy shit, that sounds cool. I want that. That's basically my rationale for getting Incarnon weapons in the first place. You know? But this is the real prize. Oh yeah. Eat radiation. Eat radiation. Get irradiated. Get super cancer. I can't even see shit. There's so much radiation. Alright, let's hit this and we'll go to the next one. Only bad thing about this arch gun is that it's not very good at clearing off these growths. God, these are so fucking cool. I love these. I kind of want to try the Incarnon, like, Furax. That would be kind of cool, I think. I want to kind of see what those look like. What the hell? Where'd you come from? I guess they just start popping up, like, once you get to this point in the whatchamacallums, the mission. I guess those Babaos just start popping up. Good God, look at this, I'm a fucking blender. Holy shit. Who needs a high crit chance when you can hit them like 5,000, like, you know, hits a minute? Holy shit. I think I've almost got it to like 2 hits per second, which is pretty fucking fast. I've been in this place before, high on the street, and you know it's my time to go. Whatever that song goes. Okay, let's get this one, let's go to the next one. Diametric Guard, Mark II. Oh no, shit, I don't want to do that. Oh well, what's done is done. Can we get our Fenmore up to brain bursting levels of bullshittery? There we go. There's Zaysha murdering things. The press continue. This is so fun. I love these songs. They're so good. They're so fun. I swear to God, my music taste is nothing but like VTuber covers and like anime bullshit. Actually, not even anime music. I don't really like anime so much. I mean, I'll listen to it. I'll watch it sometimes because it's less dog shit than like other stuff, or sometimes more dog shit in a funny way. I don't know. I like the emotionality to it. That's kind of the big draw for me. It's like I like emotional stories. If a story will destroy me emotionally, then that's my absolute shit, dude. Love that. What would be the closest to like a Void Angel Warframe? Would that be Zaku? Might be Zaku. I might have to look into getting him. Alright, let's hit this. We'll go to the next one. This song is so funny too, because like it's like, you know why it's funny. I do think you should go talk to real women sometimes if you're, you know, a VTuber fan especially, because, yeah, the parasocial shit is not cool. Not even a little bit. And parasocialism is more of a you problem than a them problem. You know what I mean? You have to have, like, healthy boundaries in relationships, you know, yourself. You have to understand, like, you know, that people on the internet, especially celebrities, aren't your friends. You know, they're entertainers, you know. They might make you feel like, you know, they might make you feel decent, you know. They might make you smile at the end of the day or make you laugh. But they don't know you, and that's part of the appeal, I suppose. You know? Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Don't be parasocial. It's weird. And it makes a lot of other people uncomfortable, too. I watch a lot of Cerber because it's cute. It's just cute. Love that shit. Very wholesome. It's not too loud. You know, there's some fun karaoke songs. Cerber's awesome. But sometimes she gets these really long, cringe-ass fucking posts. Holy shit. They're painful to listen to for everyone, and you can even, like, hear her die inside a little bit when they come up. Please, people, have a little teeny tiny bit of dignity and boundaries, and respect people's boundaries a little bit. Holy, makes me nauseous. Ugh. Yeah, I just hate that shit. Personally. Oh, I love the Mastermizer cover. This is so good, dude. Oh, and you know why I'm listening to Battle music on while I'm recording this is because it's all DMCA free. At least I believe so. I read that somewhere on her site. So you can just listen to this on your stream and there's no problem. About uploading to YouTube, I'm not so sure. I guess we'll find out after this, and I can always, like, edit out the YouTube art if I really need to and put on some, I don't know, random bullshit synthwave that I've got somewhere. We'll see. We'll see. Am I still in Incarnon mode? Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's hit this and go to the next one. How long have I been doing this mission? 22 minutes? Damn. Been at it for a little while, huh? I didn't even notice. Time just flies by when you're having fun. Or when you're rambling around about random bullshit. You know, I know nobody's probably asking this, you know, who's watching this, if they're watching this, but if the question ever came up, like, why aren't you streaming these ramblings? It's because interacting with the audience can be kind of tiring, even if it's, like, a very small one, you know, and I have, like, things to talk about that aren't necessarily, like, I don't necessarily want input on, you know? Sometimes you just want to talk for the sake of talking. Which is why, if you leave a negative YouTube comment, I will not see it, because I do not read those. I mean, no, feel free to say something nice, but, you know, maybe I'll look at it. But, for the most part, I assume that people are going to be assholes on the internet. I guess that's just my assumption. It's very easy to be cruel to somebody you can't see. You know, if you can't see their expressions, you can't see how upset they're getting, you can't see how much you've hurt them, it's very easy to go out and, like, just say, like, absolutely heinous shit to them. You know? The internet makes it too easy to be cruel, I think. And its culture of cruelty has kind of migrated to the outside world, too. So, like, you know, cruelty is just sort of a way of life for people now. They make money off of it, they get clicks off of it, get exposure off of it, you know. Even negative press is still press, I suppose. Anyway, it's kind of awful. Not kinda, it's very awful. And I do think we need to kind of understand that people are people, you know? And not monsters we've made in our heads. Ventre is a good example to take here, because a bunch of, like, again, Twitter freaks decided to call her a Nazi because a bunch of like insane people were harassing her, essentially. And this was while she was doing a Make-A-Wish charity fundraising thing. So, like, objectively, like, calling her a Nazi while she's doing that really just makes you look bad. It's like, what's the message you're trying to spread here? That Nazis raise money for children's charities or something? No, she just doesn't like it when people are being fucking weird. So yeah, because people on the left can be fucking savage. There's a reason why it's a meme that the left eats itself alive, because it very much does. Yeah. Which reminds me of Mizore Nakaya, I forget what her name is. She's awful. She sucks ass. She's a Blue Sky freak. That's not to say that people on Blue Sky are freaks, but Blue Sky has its own freak community. And by freak, of course, I mean, like, rabid extremist. Rabid desktop warrior. Who doesn't actually do anything productive in society aside from, like, start fights on the internet. You know? Real loser behavior. Anyway. Anyway, they suck. They suck ass. So if you really see anything from her, you can really just ignore it, I think. Which kind of reminds me of, what is her name? She's the other, like, kind of Blue Sky rabble-rouser. Yara? I don't know. I'm sure she's probably okay as a person or not, but she really left a bad impression on me in Blue Sky when she and, Anna Valens tried to, like, basically give YouTubing to the right wing, because they kind of like to abuse the, here's what, like, internet leftists like to do. They like to abuse the Nazi bar, analogy, right? Or the Nazi bar, like, anecdotes. So the anecdote goes like this. This guy's at a bar, and another man comes in, and he seems very, like, polite and well-dressed, but the barkeep says, "You, get the hell out of here." And then the other guy says to the barkeep, "Well, hey, what was that about? Like, why'd you kick him out?" He said, "You saw that on his lapel? He's a Nazi. And once you let one Nazi in, he'll bring his friends. And after that, they'll bring their friends. And before long, all your customers are going to be Nazis, and you'll be known as the Nazi bar." So yeah. Now here's what they get wrong about that, and why I think a lot of them are kind of, like, stupid. The point is you have to kick the Nazis out, not leave yourself. You kick the Nazis out, you don't leave yourself. Now, of course, obviously, if you're somebody who might be in danger of being, you know, harmed by, you know, Nazis, right-wing actors, sure, get out of there. You don't have to be in a place you don't feel safe in. But, you know, if you're like a regular, well-adjusted person, you should be serving as a counterpoint and a force of opposition to Nazis and right-wingers who might be, I'm just gonna say Nazis, to Nazis who are invading your spaces. You know, Nazi supremacists, things like that. Honestly, I hate, like, political talk, honestly. I know it's a little weird to say. Because I think another thing that's a little bit crazy is that oftentimes we use the word Nazi or fascist or, you know, in the place of asshole, you know? Or jerk. You know, sometimes somebody's just being, like, someone's just super ignorant, they're being a fucking dickhead. Doesn't necessarily equate to them having a violent, terroristic ideology, necessarily. And of course, there's exceptions and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, I don't know. Go somewhere else, I guess. Anyway. Point being, don't be a dickhead to your family members and friends. And if they're being opinionated about something, like, try and figure out a way to, I don't know. We need to figure out a way, like, collectively, how to approach these sort of conversations, because I sure as hell don't know how to do it. I was thinking of doing, like, of sending one of my recordings to my father, because I had some thoughts that I wanted to put down. I made a YouTube short out of it, which will be out probably before this video comes out. essentially giving some thoughts on Ilhan Omar. And why, in particular, it seems people seem to focus on her. And in that same note, like why... Where is this fucking green bastard? I hate these fucking green motherfuckers. God, I hate them. They suck so much ass.
Breathing a little easier?
Anyway, essentially, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. She's a very easy target because she's very out there. She's very open and vocal. People know who she is, whereas you probably don't know the name of, like, any, like, random, like, fucking Republican politician, you know? Or any, like, shitty Democrat politician. You probably don't know their names. You don't know who the hell they are, because they don't kind of matter to you, really. Like, they're kind of all homogenous mass of, like, kind of shittiness, I guess you could say. And, like, you know, it's like, who... Like, we don't care enough to, like, dig into them, really. Because they're just not interesting. They're not fun to poke at and tear into. And I also mentioned this is sort of the same thing with Hassan Mamdani in that short. Is that because they're different, because they're saying something that goes against the, like, grain and the cultural myths that we have, you know, and particularly, like, saying, hey, that's fucked up, we tend to focus on them more. And they are not as worthy. It's not they're not worthy of scrutiny. It's that there are people who are far more worthy of that scrutiny than they are. That are much more fucking obviously nefarious, if only you, like, dug for, like, 5 minutes. But again, we don't care enough to. I don't really care enough to either, I'll be honest. It'd be a really tedious task to go look through a bunch of really boring-ass evil politicians, you know? So we focus on the fun ones, you know? We focus on the fun evil politicians. The exciting ones. Alright, time to fuck them up. I think we'll quit at like 35 minutes. I might, like, talk for longer than that, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, the reason I'm, like, doing these missions also is because I want to fight some more of those babaos, or whatever they're called. Because they drop an arc gun, like, magnetic mod, and I need my Mandanel to do more damage. More damage, more damage. And there goes Incarnate mode. This thing still does a lot of damage on its own, like, without, like, the laser beam bullshit that goes on. There we go. God, that's satisfying. And unlike Temple, I can actually see what's going on. So that's a plus. This goddamn Temple can, like, annihilate everything in, like, 5 square miles with his flamethrower. But you can't see fucking shit, because there's just fire everywhere. Holy fuck. You just have to assume by the numbers that you're, like, fighting things. And that, you know, and that you can just, like, use the minimap to, like, move around, pretty much. It's kind of funny, honestly. It's kind of funny. Take that, you green piece of shit. That's right, eat shit. Is there another green bastard around here? Fucking die. There we go. Ooh, Clatonia. This is a song from Overlord. Or like it's in the Overlord whatchamacallums credits. Something. Let's leave. I kinda wanna get out of here. Where is the exit anyway? Stop.
Situation critical.
Let's see, did I get anything fun? I didn't really get anything super fun today. Oh well, that's fine. Where's my OBS at? Yeah. Okay, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. How much, we didn't get a lot of endo for that. We got a little relics, though. Bronco, Velox, Kato. Velox. Gyre. Velox, Caliban. Nah. Nothing super fun, honestly. God, I'm so shiny. Let's go fuck things up at the index, I think. So I need some money. We did like 3 rounds in the index, I think. Or maybe 4. 4 would probably be the best, right? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Coffee. Oh, I forgot to check what the Onos thing was. Shit, I didn't evolve it. Ah, well. I just have to fuck these guys up. Oh no. My energy. It's not charging. Fuck. I'm used to having the energy regen thing on, but I took it off because, I don't know, because I'm stupid. Shit. Hell yeah. Wait, what? You son of a bitch. You're not me. Skinwalker tried to take my place. Fucking skinwalkers, dude. What are they calling, Wendigo inspired creatures now? Are they calling, like, flesh gates? Yeah, flesh gates. Just kind of like, it's a little dumb, but you know what? I guess it's better than appropriating the culture. We've, like, violated Native American culture enough, I think. So, you know, why not have, like, a little bit of consideration, you know? Can I bring out my arc gun? I cannot. Damn. That would have been fun, though. This is a gun. It costs $50,000 to fire this for 3 seconds, or whatever, however that goes. I knew it. How many do I have? 4 points? Once I get 5, I'll put them into the bank. I don't like to have too many points. Like, I can get up to 10, maybe, if I'm feeling confident, but... You know... At 6, maybe we can get to 10. Maybe we can get to 10. We got a decent health pool still, and these guys are kind of popping like zits under the lightest pressure. 8. Let's do 9 and 10. That'll give us 14 when we get up there.
Index points up for grabs. Watch this broker with a bucket load of index points. Will they make it to the vault?
Me when I turn into an owl.
And the index. Dramatic.
Oh, so goofy.
Broker
I think I'm gonna take a walk after I finish this video up. Which I'll probably do, I don't know, we'll go for a little bit longer, at least. I want to get the index done, and maybe if you go farm some endo, and after that, I don't know. Where are you? Object permanence is shit. Okay, 11 points. Let's turn that in. It's one more point that I wanted to have, but you know what? That's fine. We'll take 15 points. So one time people were hoarding points so aggressively that the timer ticked down. You know, it was kind of funny. Aha, they left a point behind.
Shocking turn of events. Appropriate expression.
Appropriate expression.
Holding lots of points is dangerous and thrilling.
Oh, get back here, you son of a bitch. Motherfucker. How did it get any points at all? Wait, are you alive? Okay, you're a person.
Index points up for grabs.
3 points. Wow, they just explode into health orbs, don't they? Where's all my mana anyway? I mean, my energy, you know what I mean.
Points in the open.
Maybe I should adjust the electrical Archon shard I've got to where it gives me some energy on health orb pickups. It's an idea.
Index points up for grabs.
Oh, I don't have my dog with me. That's why I wasn't picking those up. That's right. Okay. That makes sense. What is this? Get out of here, translocator.
Holding lots of points is dangerous.
It sort of reminds me of something like...
Investors are eyeing
I do not understand... Well, I mean, I guess I understand, like, why there's, like, this weird vehement movement against trans people. It's because it's very distracting. It's very, like, you know, new, and it's very, like, you know, unusual for a lot of people. And this is mostly because they don't actually know any trans people. It's like I know, like, I know, like, a dozen. Like, not well, all of them. Like, I got 2 that are, like, relatively close friends, and then there's, you know, like, a pack of other ones that are in, like, a server or another. And they're mostly just funny people. You know. There's this, they want to sell this weird, like, narrative where they're, like, predators or something. But the facts show that, like, the greatest danger to a child usually comes from, like, within their home. You know, like, from immediate family. People have access to the said child are the ones that are most likely to endanger them. Interesting, isn't it? So, that's why you see a lot of these, like, pastors that get busted for, like, you know, for crimes against children. It's because they have access. And because they have access, they abuse their powers. Meanwhile, your typical trans person is really going to be within, like, I don't know, this region of, like, any children at all. Like, let's be honest. They've got their own stuff going on. There really just aren't all that many trans people, too. They're really overrepresented. They're really overrepresented in, like, this sort of weird discourse, you know? It's like there's I think I saw there was a study where they asked people like, what percentage of the population do you think is trans? And they had some wacky results. Like it was something like people thought it was like 10% of the population or higher than that, and in reality it's like less than 1%. Might be less than 0.10% or something. I forget. It's not many. It's not many. And there's another thing I have to think about here, is that are some claims even like, what am I thinking about? Let me see. I've lost my train of thought again. I'm sure it was important, but I just can't quite remember what it was. Let's see. Talking about trans people, how they aren't really... how there's not many of them, how people think they're overrepresented, how people believe they're overrepresented in the population or something. Nope, I can't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. I just have too many thoughts in my head sometimes. They don't always have like a place to go. So some of them get lost in translation. Maybe that's why I talk so quickly too, is that I have to get it all out. You know, that could be it. Ow. You son of a bitch. You rat. You rat. How does Nags say it? I don't know. I need to watch more Nags. He's a funny dude. So funny. I don't really watch him a lot. I like his collabs with, you know, because I mainly watch VTubers. I'm that kind of loser. But he seems really fun. He seems really cool. I like his collabs with people like, who did he collab with recently? I don't know, he collabs with a lot of people. I think I saw one with Cottontail, where they were playing that game where you can't talk above a certain decibel, or otherwise you just die. You just fucking die. Which is really fucking funny. Yeah. How many points do I got? 10, there we go. Let's go. Wonderful. God, I like how these blades look now that they're silvery instead of like gold. Yeah, this Warframe, I put a much colder color scheme on him. I really like it. It's a little bit drab, but it's very like cold looking. You know, it's kind of intimidating and imposing. And where the fuck did he go? Get back here. Fuck you, son of a bitch. Relaxing bow music in the background, frantic warframing in the foreground, random ramblings in the midground. Is midground even like a concept? Foreground, background, would that be like just... What do you call the thing that's just there? The thing that's not foreground or background? Is that just the scene? I don't know, that's weird. I don't really think about this. Oh, excuse me. Sweet googly moogly. That was a burp of all time. That's a Seanism. Ah, shit. I'm gonna have to edit that out. That's a Wanderism. Didn't I just say weird shit? Mostly out of boredom, and mostly because it's funny. Two mostlies. I have multiple reasons for everything I do. I'm 12 steps ahead in this 4D chess game. I'm playing 5D chess with these weird random phrases. I just like amusing myself with this sort of shit. Don't burst my bubble, bubble, I love that. God, we're like a fucking Cuisinart. That's a fancy word for blender. Okay, let's keep going. Actually, I think that's a brand of blender. Oh my, we are a little bit fragile right now. Let's heal up. Let's get our shields back at least. Back here, you son of a bitch. Who the fuck are you? Ah, shit. I'm gonna die if I don't bank these. I just want one more. I need one more point. I'm thirsting for it. There we go. Bingo. 13 points. Hot diggity damn. Maybe one of the players died there. Back to 1,714 points. Yep. My block button and aim button are the same one. I don't know if that's normal. Ow. All of my organs at once. Where'd you go, you teleporting shit? Da-na-na. What was this one? Natural disaster? Or... yeah, this is natural disaster. Not a huge fan of this song, honestly, but it's okay. It's alright. You know, I used to be kind of like paranoid about listening to music that was like sung by women or by women artists, female artists. Yeah, women artists, whatever. I don't really like the word female, it's too clinical. Anyway. But that's just like, I think all like kids are like that, especially like young men are like that. They just don't want to feel like they're trying to fit in and fit this masculine mold, right? And it can be a little bit, and you kind of like don't know how to in like a healthy way. So you end up paranoid about random bullshit that doesn't matter, no one cares about. But yeah, I like music like this, I've found. So yeah. Anyway, what brought on that train of thought is that, like, just like a lot of my belief system is just like hating women is cringe. That's kind of it, you know. And a lot of people do seem to hate women for really like petty reasons. But I think it's mostly driven by like influencers, particularly like TikTok influencers. Which is, I know it's funny because that's where a lot of like the Israel-Palestine stuff actually came to light at. You know, but it's true, like, anger gets clicks, and what better way to make someone angry than to make unfair judgments about someone's gender, or to show someone showing open disdain for that gender. Something immutable about your person is just being, like, dragged in the mud by some random asshole, right? And, yeah, it pisses people off, it makes them enraged, and it gives them a false view of the world in which there are just these hordes of awful people everywhere that all want to ruin your life and think you're trash. When it's not really the case. People don't really care about you, and most, like, women like men, often to the point where they end up in these really fucking bad situations, right? You know, where they put so much, like, faith in their partner, or they thought they liked this person, or they thought they could trust this person, they end up being a piece of shit. when they can't get out of the situation. You know, happens a lot. Men get this too, but it goes in a different way. You see, usually as a man, you're the provider, right? Or at least that's the role people sort of want to have as a man. And I think, of course, like, that role has been really, like, it's almost not viable anymore because, like, just jobs don't pay enough to live or have a home, much less support a partner, you know? But the point I'm making is that for men, the way they get trapped is feeling that they are responsible for someone, that people are dependent on them. So even if their situation is pretty, like, shitty, they're not very likely to leave it because it's their responsibility to not, to actually endure it. That's the sort of mentality that traps some men in bad relationships, in my humble opinion.
Investors are eyeing those dropped points.
Certainly happened to me. Certainly happened to me.
Drive's annual corp
My first relationship, I don't know if I could call it bad necessarily, but it wasn't good, and it didn't go anywhere good, I had to say.
enthusiasm for that capitalization.
Do we want to do one more? Let's do one more. These guys get a little crunchy, so I think after we hit this last one, I'm going to leave.
Points up for grabs.
Anyway, what was I saying again? Oh, yes. So I think sometimes, I don't know, my former partner was pretty useless. Like, let's be honest. Like, I know that's not very charitable to say, but, like, ugh.
Points up for grabs.
I was in a situation, essentially, where I was paying for, you know, rent, electricity, water, food, other expenses, you know, trips, what else? Their car insurance, because I didn't have a car. I think, at least they didn't have car payments that I had to pay, too. That would have been a nightmare. Oh, and of course, like, electricity got real bad in some years because, ooh, man, climate change, man. Crazy. Ooh, that sucks. Anyway. So yeah, you can imagine how seeing, like, electricity bill go up from, like, $100 to, like, $200, especially when you're on, like, a relatively, like, impoverished fucking, like, salary, let's say. You know, if you're making, like, say, how much was I making that? It's like $12 an hour? Probably more than that. Maybe 13? Might have been 12. How much was it? It wasn't as high as I'm making now, which is not much. Anyway, wasn't making a lot of money, is the point I'm trying to make. And things got to a point where I just could not, like, you know, support... Well, I guess I was trying to support us, at least till we got to, like, someplace better. We did have something lined up. But the stress just got to me, dude. I was also basically their full-time fucking therapist, which also sucks ass. Listen, fellas, if you find yourself, like, in the position as a stay-at-home full-time therapist, like, you gotta set some boundaries, you know? Because otherwise it'll murder your soul. I mean, it sounds awful to say that, you know, supporting your partner will, like, hurt you, but it very much will if you're not careful to preserve your own, like, sanity. Oh, there's all these vassals over here. Anyway. So yeah, preserve your sanity, fellas. I'm not saying you should abandon a partner who has, like, issues or has traumas and whatnot, but you need to set a healthy boundary with them so that you can, like, not go insane. Because there's only so much you can handle, you know, before you snap like a fucking twig. And that's really what it felt like when things went to shit. It was just like a snap. Like, that was like the final straw. Holy shit. And things ended very, relatively shortly after that.
Index points up for grabs. All eyes on that market upset.
I am not doing enough damage here.
Index points
Jesus Christ. Okay, well that's 10. So we can go and turn these in at least. Ooh, this is pretty. God, she could sing so well, dude.
points in the open.
What else do I have to talk about today? Not a whole lot, I think. Not a whole lot. I think I'm about talked out for now, though I might come back to this later today after I take a walk. Just to get my brain jogging a little bit, but I need to like, I don't know, browse the internet and walk and think for a little while. Maybe I'll talk about the tabletop RPG game I had the other day in the next video diary. We shall see. We'll see. Die already.
Lots of investors on the floor today.
Let's go ahead and turn these 3 in. Why not? Alright. Hell to the yeah. How many did I get? 100 points, 36 kills? Jesus Christ. Well, I did pretty decent, all things considered. $1 million. Not bad. Not bad at all. I am upgrading mods. That's what I'm doing. Is there any Exiles mod I even want to put on this? Not particularly. Though, Opportunity's Reach can be fun with this, because we already get, like, a huge, like, range increase on the Incarnate form. So that could be interesting. I want to look at some other things we got, though. I think Cold is not cutting it. I kind of got it for extra, like, critical damage, but... I don't know if our status chance is high enough to make use of that. We'll see. There's other mods I could put on here. I was thinking about this one, but it's not really, it doesn't really have a place here. Extra critical damage. But we already have Vice and whatnot, so... What happens if we take this off and put, I guess it wouldn't change a whole lot. We did Sacrificial Steel, and then... yeah, there we go. That works. Higher critical chance. Yeah, that'll work. Dun, dun, dun. God, this is so cute. I love this song. But that gets rid of all our excess points, so that's fine. Onus, what are we gonna do with this? A Cascadia overpowered on it. What's our next... oh, there we go. Incarnate form. Cool. Weak point hits charge Incarnate transmutation. Wildfire turns it back. Okay. Kill 8 extremis enemies with this weapon's Incarnate transformation. Huh. That'll be interesting. This one's fully upgraded. The Praetos we need... 12 ruptures and void blood. Honestly, this is probably as best. This is really good already. Actually, this is a lot of attack speed. Do we need more attack speed than that? Slam radius, sprint speed, slide. We can go over here. And what was the slam radius? 4 combo count for people hit by slams. No, I think this is better for combo count, just hitting him more. We have a lot of speed, though. What do we even do with this one? 3x combo to activate Incarnate form. That's not bad. Get it a little sooner. Double jump strength increased by 100%. What did I have here? Oh, I had a... I know what I had. There we go. And then what do we want on the Exiles slot? Anything? Maybe we'll put that there. We can also do Nearest Anguish. Increase slam damage. Rending turn. No, we can't put that on either. We don't really need to put something on there, honestly. Not right now, anyway. Venmore doesn't need anything new. Well, I could upgrade it. I don't think I have any... I don't have any Forma. Am I cooking any Forma? I'm not. Dumb. Oh, it's because I have some. Okay. Uh-oh, am I out of blueprints? Yep, out of blueprints. Well, I guess we're going to be... I guess we're going to be farming some relics then, huh? Unless I want to upgrade something. This one's fine. I don't think I really need to upgrade anything too much. I'm kind of satisfied with where this is at, except I might switch out Vicious Frost for... Volcanic. Maybe even Electricity. Do I have an Electricity one? I do not. I focus energy, but that's not quite right. There we go. Creepy Green Flames. Let's go look at our relics. What do we got? That's mods. Here we go, relics. Caliban. Okay, C1. Yeah. I need the Caliban Prime systems. That's the only thing I'm missing. I've got the other 2 thingies, and I've got the blueprint. So I want to get like a few of these up to Radiant before I do anything. So let's just find some useless fucking relics to... Zaku Prime. What does Zaku Prime look like? I'll look that up real quick. Zaku Prime, there we go. Kind of cool, kind of lame. I like him. What does normal Zaku look like? Kind of lame. Yeah, I don't care. Trash relic it is. Let's see, former blueprint. I guess still. Oh, I have the Nautilus Prime Cerebellum. What Prime blueprints do I have actually? Let's see. Is there Prime parts like section? Let's just type Prime. Caliban Prime. Just need the systems. Grendel Prime. Need some other stuff. Do I just have the cerebellum for it? Let me see. Let's look at, there's a prime section here. Yeah. Nautilus Prime Cerebellum. Okay. Nautilus Prime Systems. So I'm just need Nautilus Prime Carapace, I think? And the blueprint itself. Oh, wrong one. Let's see. Nautilus. Cerebellum. Carapace. Okay. Okay. Want the L7 relic regular. Nautilus Prime Blueprint. There it is. It's a rare one. I guess we can do a run where we try and get one of these. Can you like downgrade these things? So I don't want to make it flawless because I don't want the Lavos Prime. No, actually, could get Lavos. No, I don't really care that much. I don't really like Prime Warframes. They're kind of ugly looking. I know that's like blasphemy to some people, but like they're just ugly looking. Basically got 2 chances to get the Lith relic I want. So L7, Lith L7. Well, let's do it, I really need to quit after this, though. Okay. We'll do 2 rounds of a Lith Fissure. Sabotage of Cervantes. What if we do solo? Let's do solo. 7... L7... Yes. I don't know if it's better to do it solo or, like, in a group. I think everybody rolls on their relic, right? It's not like a random roll across all relics for 4 choices. I don't know, so it probably won't matter. I only get 1 roll, so there's a decent chance I get what I want. But also Cervantes. There is a mod here that I need to get. Absolutely need to get. It is called Maul. It's a beast mod, and it upgrades whatchamacallums. Wait, what is the challenge am I doing here? Exilus enemies. Alright, so we're gonna use Onus and Corvex is so fucking bulky, I can't even tell what I'm aiming at half the time. Apparently his Kubros have a chance to drop what I need to. So, I have to torment them too. The fire rate leaves something to be desired on this. Yeah, that's right. Get him, Zaysha. There it is. There's the first one. Wonderful. I don't think I saw anything the other direction. Alright. Let me double check over here real quick. I think we got everything. Yeah, there was nothing over here. Okay, cool. Some kind of a soft music kind of mood today. I've been thinking a little bit about stories are weapons, psychological warfare in the American mind. It's an interesting, of course, book on psychological warfare, its history, and like the sort of modern incarnations we see in society. And yeah, the reason why I'm thinking of it is because, like, the fact is, like, military-grade psychological weapons are being used in the U.S. against its citizens, by its citizens, and by foreign governments, such as Israel. Now, what do I mean by psychological weapons? That sounds like outlandish, right? Well, it's things like canceling people is a form of psychological warfare. Interesting, right? Yeah. So, like, having people lose their jobs over opinions, such as, like, the professors who lose their jobs over because they speak out against Palestine. That's a form of psychological warfare, again, committed by Israel. And there are probably numerous other examples I can point to. Yeah, basically anything that causes you to lose your life or livelihood over an opinion is psychological warfare. And you may notice from this that the left does engage in psychological warfare as well. Now, this doesn't make them, this doesn't exactly put them in the same camp as, say, the people using psychological warfare to cover war crimes. But it is interesting to note that we are using the same weapons in the same war. And there's an interesting concept I came upon in that book, and that's the importance of psychological disarmament, or rather, in normal wars, there is a disarmament phase after the war is concluded, right? You know, treaties are signed, rules are established, terms, whatnot, and weapons are, most importantly, weapons are put aside. Yeah. And that's sort of what we need to do here. We need to put aside the psychological weapons in order to actually, like, engage with reality again. Because really we're just fighting. And not for anything particularly productive either, it's just violence for violence's sake at some point. You know? God, I haven't talked this much in a while. My throat kind of hurts. I hate that you have to get, like, weak point hits with this in order to charge this incarnate form. That kind of sucks. I guess it'd be too easy if you just had to kill things, like, in a normal way. Anyway, let's see what the incarnate form looks like. Oh, that's horrifying. I love having horrifying angel arms. Ew. Gross. Interesting. What is that? Is it like siphoning their souls out or something? What's going on here? Interesting. I don't know if I understand this weapon. There we go. Okay, so it sort of sucks the life force out of things to power a beam, it looks like. Interesting. Very interesting. Very gross. Very interesting. I have no idea what we're listening to, by the way. It's on Bao's music playlist, so it's probably fine. Oh god, Lucy Pyre. I love Lucy Pyre. She's so cool. She's so fucking batshit insane, dude. I love Lucy Pyre. She's the goat, dude. She's the goat. You know, it's interesting. There's like a big, like, I don't know. There's a big hullabaloo around Beetle right now. Because, like, a bunch of, like, your IRL streamers are pissed off that he's successful. And they don't really understand VTubers or AI or anything like that. So they don't really have context. Like, even if they're, you know, if they're anti-AI, they might just dislike him because they hear AI and not understand, like, how he's, like, done what he's done. Because the fact is that his project has a soul. Not necessarily that Neuro has a soul, because she's maybe not developed enough for that. But his work has soul. It's a passion project. It's not some cold corporate psychological warfare operation like Grok or OpenAI or whatnot. You know, it's not a tool designed to harm people. It's a tool she's designed to entertain people. And that's has infinitely more value than any sort of, like, horrifying propaganda system that produces CSAM and misinformation. But yeah. So yeah, a bunch of butthurt losers are kind of like, you know, mauling over this, over his success. You know? And I think also they just can't conceive of, like, anything beautiful as well. Like, they have a very narrow view of what's good, and what's good is usually, like, nothing of actual substance, you know. For example, what is this guy's name? Lacey or whatever? I forget what his name is. He doesn't really matter. He's a Who. He's a Who, should go back to Whoville. But yeah, I don't imagine he's done anything of, like, worth, aside from, like, be a guy on the internet. I don't imagine he's, like, raised money for anything, or, you know, actually produced, or actually put effort into, like, big projects and videos and events, you know, or probably even networked as much as Beetle has, honestly. Because he owes so much of his success to his, like, networking. Like, he is a very, very intelligent dude, like, in a lot of ways. Somewhat lacking in the personality department sometimes, but otherwise, well, he's got plenty of personality. He's just kind of a dickhead. A little bit, like, emotionless. I don't know. He's just incredibly blessed in a lot of ways. But yeah, I think he lives sort of like the ideal we all want to, like, work towards, like, have some huge grand project that we're, you know, trying to accomplish, that to be surrounded by, like, by friends and other cool stuff like that. To, like, have a community, to build a community. That's kind of the ideal, isn't it? I've built some communities. Not particularly, like, you know, long-lasting ones, because I get tired. There's only so much effort I can put into something before I kind of get, like, exhausted. My stamina is not very good. So I get tired of, like, gaming streams and things like that, and don't really follow through on them very much. So I just, can't, it's just not super appealing after a point. Come on, get in there. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. There we go. Nothing. Maybe that's just the depression that does that. I mean, it's managed decently well, but even so, like, it still is draining on, like, a fundamental level. So I just get tired and I get demotivated. And become unmotivated, I suppose. It's probably a better English way of saying that. It just reminded me. In the tabletop RPG session I was playing the other day, there was a NPC who was very upset, and the player who heard it was going to just kind of turn away and say, like, okay, I'm going to give them their privacy. And then the other player, who is I think from somewhere in South America, said like, "Oh, that's such an American way of dealing with this. Like in my country, you know, if you hear somebody crying, you go up to them and go, 'Hey, why are you crying?' You know, you don't just ignore them." I thought that was really interesting. Like that other cultures have much more empathy for people than we do. You know, you sometimes hear about how in Japan, like, people are very, like, closed off and don't have a lot of emotional outlets or some such. But really, I mean, I think that applies equally as well to America. We're very vocal about expressing our anger, you know? But not so much anything else. Not so much anything else. Is it the last one? Yeah, it's the last one. Cool. We can get out of here then. Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get Maul. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's right. I got a heavy attack. There we go. Oh, this is sweet. I like this. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. So cute.
Just destroyed a massive batch of Grenier toxin. Good work. Get to extraction.
This is so cute. I love this song. Maybe I just love, like, how she's singing it, too. Don't call me a simp if you want, I don't care. That's actually a very funny thing, like, okay, I get, like, what a simp might be, you know, but, like, I think a lot of people just say, like, oh, you like this person, like, or you enjoy, like, this person's work, you're a simp for it because she's a woman, and not because, you know, she might be talented.
Mission complete. Excellent.
Did we get anything useful? Oh, we got the carapace. Okay. We got the carapace. We didn't get the Maul mod, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Now I just need the blueprint. Now I just need the blueprint. Okay, interesting. Interesting, interesting.
Yo, we just got a Maple Story M sponsor? Alright, time for a performance of a lifetime.
Not unless... Where's the Nautilus blueprint? Nautilus Prime blueprint. Okay, I want to fully upgrade this before I try and get that.
Okay, so that actually wasn't the cover, but you know what else I'm about to cover? Maple Story M's huge winter update featuring a brand new class, Adele. Get into the holiday spirit by playing through fun and exciting seasonal
Let's see. Do we have any useless relics?
revisit the nostalgia of Maple Story M the now. Download the game today using my link in the description.
That one seems kind of useless.
Hit it for real, editor-san.
I do want a forma that's, there we go. It's okay. Forma blueprint, Trunma. Psylocke, Lavos Prime. All these have, like, something that's okay in them. Which kind of sucks, because I want to just... let's see. Tesla Prime. Let's you handle. Psylocke, Sevagoth Prime. We have a lot of Mezzo relics. I do need the Kato Prime Barrel. So let's do a Mezzo fissure with Y1 relics real quick. Ah, God, I need to get off the computer before I... Wait, did that one have a Forma, though? It probably did. What did I say? M1 or Y1? We'll find it. Alright, Mezzo fissure. Yeah, we'll do that one. Forma. It looks like all these give Forma. Great. Not that one. It's the one that had the Kato Prime Barrel. There we go. Let's equip that one. If we get the Kato Prime Barrel, great. If we don't, at least we'll probably get a Forma out of this. Maybe. Depends on how tough this mission is. I don't really look. Probably not very tough, though.
Our position has been compromised. Defend
Interesting.
reinforcements arrive. Watch out. I'm detecting
Okay, we're gonna put one here.
matching relic.
We'll put one over here.
A fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics.
Oh, 18. Jesus. That's nothing. I know I have a quest to, like, kill extremist units with this, but I don't care.
Use the reactant. Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
It's actually a little harder than I thought it'd be, because there's so much open space here. Not well. We'll manage. We will manage. How much we got? 8. We're almost done. Relic cracked. Let me close up this end. Oh my god, this song is crazy. I don't know how she sings so fast. Holy shit. Get radiation sickness. Get mega cancer. Get mega cancer. Let's get another cancer tower down. Cancer tower here. That'll pretty much take care of those sides. But I got some really good, like, extension mods. I bet these can cover a huge-ass area. I saw some crazy-ass builds where people are using, like, Prime Overextended or something. Or Overextended and then Prime Reach. One of those two. And, they were basically covering the whole fucking map in radiation. It was nuts. Like, crazy. Holy shit. Oh, how much longer we got? How do you even sing like that? How do you sing that fast? Holy shit. Mesmerizer is even faster, so I don't even fucking know, dude. It's crazy. People are just crazy talented in this world. Actually, talent isn't a good word to use. They're skilled. You know, they're skilled and they put a lot of time into those skills. You know? Saying it's a talent is a little insulting, I think, to the hard work that goes into these sort of things. So I don't think if you're merely talented, you know, quote-unquote, that you can actually do this stuff. There has to be something more. You have to actually, like, put in some crazy, crazy amount of effort for this sort of thing. Alright, come here, coin boy. Where'd you fucking go? You son of a bitch. Get cancer. I have no idea what you're supposed to do with these. I just like collecting them. How much longer is this going to go on?
Reinforcements available. Choose to leave now or continue fighting.
Let's see what we got. Yeah, there we go. We can leave.
That's the last of them.
Oh,
Secure. Let's go home.
goodness gracious. Yeah, I think that's enough for today. Whew. I'll get this cooking and then I'll sign off.
The system continues to fall into chaos. Check navigation for active invasions.
Wonderful. Okay, and that's going to be it for now. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time.